Okay, so I've done a lot of research on hypnosis and anxiety. Because when I was doing my research, I found that 1 in 4 Americans are on anti-anxiety pills. I think that's a lot. Like, I think that's a lot of people. Just saying. And what happens and what the difference is. First off, for anti-anxiety medication, I think, while I am not a proponent of pills or medications, if something happens where it's traumatic, it's a shock to the system, I'd much prefer to use, like, I would say use homeopathy for that, like an aconite from boron. But let's just say, for argument's sake for this video, you have an anti-anxiety pill. That's when I would say, okay, as a one-time thing, or it's situational. However, you have people on anti-anxiety pills for long-term usage, which is problematic for a number of reasons. The number one is that there's side effects to it. And side effects include a lot of different horrible things. I mean, at a very surface level, dizziness, addiction to it, and also just numbing your emotions. And that's just, surface level stuff. And the second thing is that you form an addiction to it, and you really do feel that you cannot function without them. And I wholeheartedly disagree with that. But anyhow, as I was doing my research into hypnosis, because my focus is really sharing about hypnosis as a science and not stage hypnosis. I mean, there's stage hypnotists that are very skilled, and I love that. I think it's amazing. You have to be very skilled and dynamic to do that, and I respect that trade. However, my angle is more scientific, the neuroscience, and about the brain. And so what I was researching today about anxiety is that when you take medication, I'm saying it right, you're working from the bottom up, so that it just kind of flips the switch, and you don't feel it. Like, the brain chemicals kind of like turned off, the amygdala, the fight or flight. And so it doesn't actually teach your mind how to manage issues that come up. It doesn't actually teach you. So I'm saying something could happen outside the realm of normal stress, and you really don't have a way of working with that or managing it. And so that's why I think there's so many people if you look around, just walking around like super sad, super out of it. And what hypnosis does is it's top down. So it helps you strengthen your prefrontal cortex. It helps you strengthen that area of the brain that helps you manage the amygdala. So I had done a video a while back about how your amygdala and your prefrontal cortex, so basically in layman's terms, your fight or flight, like that stress, and your logical minds cannot be fired at the same time. They cannot be fired up. So what I use just as a quick hack when anxiety comes up is, to go into gratitude, because it cannot coexist. That big stress chemical and your logical mind cannot coexist. So that's a quick hack. But on the topic of anxiety, what hypnosis does is that it teaches you what to do. And when you're in hypnosis, it's basically just bringing your conscious mind to a lull, to a relaxed state, so that we put the suggestions in there of how to manage things, so that you have the tools. It's not just in hypnosis, it's how you manage going forward. And why that's helpful, number one, is you're using your own mind. You're not doing anything external to you. You're not reliant on anything. It's not addictive. And it's also, there's no side effects to it. And it's really something that you might not have learned when you were younger. And then as things come up in your life and you're stressed, you just don't, you never hear someone say, I don't have the head for that. I don't have the headspace for that. That's what it is. People don't know how to tap into the power of the chemicals their mind already creates. So your mind can create all those feel-good hormones, the oxytocin, the dopamine, and what was the other? Serotonin. So all of those chemicals exist. You create them. You can create more. And so when you know how to manage your mind, and like I said, it's very easy to do with the use of hypnosis. I think there was a 2019 study, I could put the link if you're interested, where they had a control group and it improved their anxiety by about, I think it was like 79%, which I think is super high. So, and in any case, I don't know if you are struggling with anxiety. Maybe you know someone, and really why I wanted to come on and share this was, it's not just, having someone cluck like a chicken in the middle of the road or do funny things, which again, like I said, it has its place. But this video is more for the person who is really struggling, and despite the medication, that you might even be on medication and it's just not helping. And I wanted to explain why, and also give an alternative. If you're open to doing something that is literally only going to help you, why not, right? Why not do it? Why not try it? Although I don't use the word try, but for this video's purpose, I'm just throwing it out there. So the point, I'm going to wrap it up here, is that even if the medication had started to help you, there will come a time, most people say, not 100% of the time, where it won't work. It won't work for a situation. It won't work anymore after taking it long term. And they'll either want to increase your dose or take something else, and then you have to battle with other side effects and things like that. And what is amazing to me is, like, what if you could have the empowerment of yourself doing it? What if you could manage your anxiety on your own? How good would that feel? I think that's amazing. So in any case, I'm saying all that to say, what I do is I work with people one-on-one privately, and I'm also partnering with businesses and corporations to help their staff, because there is a lot of staff members dealing with anxiety, and what happens to their work? It suffers. There's a lot of people who have mental health days, who call in sick. They can't bear the stress of the day, the stress of the work, balancing their work and life. It gets too much and they don't have an outlet. So this wasn't all about like dogging on medication and all that. It's really to provide a solution. And with the businesses and corporations and the employees that I work with, even in just one session, they get to feel what it's like. And if you could feel it once, that means you could feel it over and over again. So it's giving people options so that they know that in the grand scheme of things, no matter what is thrown at them, they can deal with it. So if you're interested, if you have a team, if you have a business that you'd love to introduce your employees to this, please just DM me and I'll schedule a chat and we can discuss options. Ciao, ciao.